Hi, and welcome back to Book Stage and Screen. We've got the wonderfully talented Jenny Wynter with us. Hi, Jenny.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, good.
We're good.
And a big congratulations, we should say, for winning Pitch Fest, which we're going to talk about, but we'll get our congratulations in early.
Oh, thank you very much. I know it's still sinking in, so I'm still on that high where, you can congratulate me as much as you want.
Wonderful.
But it's won a few prizes, hasn't it? The project that you pitched and won Webfest as part of a comedy show that you did.
It is, yeah. So I've done a number of solo shows over the years, and Viking Mumma is the most recent. So it's toured a little bit around Australia and just gotten really lovely responses, particularly with mothers. It's actually funny because I did a short run of it originally, and then due to personal reasons, my mum got really sick, and so I put performing on hold while I was looking after her.
Yeah.
So it just kind of fell by the wayside a bit. And then I was at my high school reunion, this is last year, and one of the women that I went to school with 20 years ago said to me, she was like, "Oh my God, you have got to bring Viking Mumma back," because she'd come and seen the show with a bunch of old school friends that I hadn't seen in years.
Yeah.
She was like, "That show just made, it was so cathartic. It was just," she's like, there's this one sequence at the end where the Viking Mumma kind of just lets loose and unreins all her tension and in true Viking style is a slaughter, and she's like, "You've got to do something with that." And so then that inspired me this year to resurrect it and rework it, and then the opportunity to pitch it as a TV series came up, and I just thought that seemed like an amazing opportunity to see if I can adapt it, as a series, because I think it's a really cool premise, and I love it, obviously, or I wouldn't do it. And and it just came through and won, and I can't believe it.
So what is Viking Mumma? What is it?
So the premise is it's basically like a Viking mother. So it's kind of like, like a woman from a distant time dealing with life in the modern world. So, like kind of that idea of bringing that warrior spirit and all of the very kitsch, Viking references, but into modern domestic life. Because, I had kids a lot earlier than I ever would have intended. And,
well done.
and I think I just realised, there are days when it just feels like a war and it feels like a battle just to get started in the day, and you're going through, and fighting to try and be a good enough parent and all that stuff. And it just, at some point, it just occurred to me, it feels like you're being a warrior. And I also have Viking in my ancestry. So I've always really, felt an affinity for that culture and been quite interested in the look. And I love everything about it. I love the aesthetics of it. It's so funny, though, growing up, because my mum was always like, "You never tell anybody that we were related to the Vikings. They were terrible people." So now I've just, in glorious fashion, come out of the closet. So I guess it's just mashing those two ideas together in those two worlds. And, and it's very fun. Having said that, though, my Viking references are about as historically accurate as the Flintstones. It's very silly. It's not meant to be historically, accurate.
I don't think you'll be picked up on historical facts somehow.
Anyone that's looking for historical accuracy will be mortified. But
they can move on.
Very fun.
Yeah. And so what did you win? What was your win?
Oh, my gosh. So it's sponsored by ABC Comedy and ABC iView. So basically, Melbourne Webfest, provided this amazing opportunity pitching competition. It's the first time it's happened. So the prize is to go over to France, to Marseille for the Webfest there in October and do a week-long writing residency.
Beautiful.
So, and that's the idea of that, is to workshop the idea and, really flesh it out and develop it as a TV or web series, concept. And then I believe I come back to Australia and pitch it properly to the ABC and, take it from there, see what happens. But, I'm just blown away, and just the opportunity to, put the idea out in front of people and have a response like that. Because, obviously I believe in it, and I feel really passionately just to have that kind of validation feels wonderful.
Yeah, and a really exciting prospect ahead. I'm sure you'll be with some great writers over there in France, learning.
Absolutely, and just to meet people who are on a similar page. And that's what I love like even at Melbourne Web Fest, because I went for the pitching comp, obviously, but also just to be part of it and you know, attend the workshops and meet people and go to screenings, and just the people were fantastic. And when you just, I mean, that's the beautiful thing about these kind of events, and as I'm sure I'll feel in France, is you just connecting with people who are, you know, we're all on the same page. You know, we've all got ideas, and how do we do them, and trying to inspire each other and share, you know, knowledge and passion and all that stuff. So it's it's just an amazing opportunity to connect with the community around the world.
And have you been to France before?
I have never set foot in Europe.
So the invasion begins, the Viking invasion.
It begins here, yes.
Pillaging, etc. Plundering.
Yeah, so all my travel so far has been the States and Canada, and I've spent quite a bit of time there, but never been to Europe. So yeah, the Viking invasion's coming back.
Beautiful. I'm sure
well
they'll be open to it.
And have you got the horned hat? Because that's kind of...
I've got so many horn hats, it's probably disturbing. When I toured it down, I did Melbourne Cabaret Festival a couple of months ago, and I was just waiting to be stopped by their security because I had, literally had a carry-on bag just full of Viking helmets for the show. So that no one stopped me, so clearly it's just another day, another
Viking going through security.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that's interesting. It is a bit concerning, isn't it? If the security's waving you in when you've got helmets.
I guess they're just not expecting that, so yeah, very weird.
Well, maybe they already know. Maybe they've seen the winner of Melbourne Web Fest, Pitch Fest, and they went, what? Yeah.
I'm sure I have a big fan base among airport
security. They are a particular brand, those people. So now, what else do you do? I saw that you just graduated from somewhere.
I do. I'm now officially a clown doctor. So I've been training as a clown doctor for the last 12 months, and have officially completed my internship. So I'm doing that. So I do that at the Children's Hospital up here in Brisbane, and as well as that, I'm a stand-up comedian. So I perform at festivals and clubs around the place.
Yep.
And, just kind of have my fingers in a few different performing pies like that. So, between that and parenthood, it's,
There's not much, there's only sleep left.
But clown doctoring, are you allowed to perform surgery as a clown doctor, or are there limits to it?
No, of course.
It's just open season now.
But I perform it, I perform surgery all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculously fun, and it's a beautiful job, and, I just absolutely love it. And obviously I'm still quite new to the, I don't know if you call it an industry, but to the profession. And, it's just, I'm a very sensitive soul. So I think if anything, I was worried that I'd find that, the stuff that you see quite confronting and sad. And I've definitely had those moments. But overall, it's just such a beautiful job to see when you can change the mood of the room, and also just to feel like, after I looked after my mother and took a break from performing a couple of years ago, I really did have this sense of I want to do comedy because I love it so much, but I actually felt like I want to do something that just I can see there's a direct impact, and that I feel like I'm doing something positive in the world. And so now I feel like I just feel like I have the best of both worlds in that way. So
is there any competition between you and the regular doctors who think they're funny? Do they like, hey, who's this clown doctor thinks she is? Do you get a bit of that, bit of attitude from the doctors?
A bit of attitude. No, I mean, I think I probably try and compete for medical prowess more than anything. Like to feel like my bandaging technique, using toilet paper is, really cutting edge kind of stuff. So, it's all good. And what I love actually is some of the doctors in particular will really get on board with you and play with you and be silly as well, and that's really nice as well. And but we're all on the same team, and
it sounds great.
It's a really lovely job.
Oh, good. And now we've got plenty of creative people listening. Maybe you could give us a few tips about what your writing sort of style or your tips are. Have you got any that you'd like to share?
Sure. Well, I guess the main thing, I feel like as I've gotten older, I've realised I think a lot of writing is more thinking of yourself as as a secretary in a way, and just stay with me.
Yeah.
I guess what I realise is it's about documenting your ideas and making sure that you just get them down, because I feel like I constantly will have ideas or hear a bit of dialogue or, come up with a joke and then convince myself that, oh yeah, I'll remember that. And then of course later you don't at all. So I think it is so much about being your own PA and making sure you write all of that stuff down. And the other thing for me personally is to set yourself, a public deadline where, and I heard Conan O'Brien refer to it as a burning building approach to getting things done, where he will just set himself a deadline, whether that's a festival deadline and just signing up for the festival before you've even worked out what the heck you're going to do, or signing up for a gig before you even know what you're going to do, or committing to doing a writing competition or sending it to a publisher by that date. Whatever that may be, but you've got to back yourself into a corner so there is no option but to get the work done. So
yes, deadlines are your friend and your foe, but mostly your friend.
And for me, tight deadlines are my friend. If I've got too long a deadline, I don't find that motivating at all. It's always got to be quite challenging and tight. And then somehow it's like magic. You just dig deep and you make it happen.
Well, it's like anything. If you've got 3 months or 2 weeks or 2 days, it's all done in the last 2 days.
Exactly.
Regardless.
True. It's so true. And I guess, too, you've got to figure out your own best way of working. But for me now, I really realise that, if I have, really for me, I think a 2 to 3 week deadline is kind of ideal, because I'm good at working really, really hard for a really short amount of time and then knowing that I've got time afterwards to recover.
So you're a performer first and a writer by necessity to write your own material, or are you a writer who didn't have a performer doing your material, or is it just all in the mix? Where do you sort of sit?
That's a really good question. I think I'm both. I really do. And I think I prefer to perform my own material just because I know how I want it to be delivered. And also, I'm a shameless ham. I love it.
And there we go.
But I also come from, improv is really my background. So improvised comedy, which is essentially, you are writing it as you're performing it on stage. And the improv theatre that I trained with, who I credit for anything good I ever do, Loose Moose Theatre in Canada, and they're just amazing. But their whole thing is about story and narrative and structure. So I think they taught me a lot about, just what is a story, and that we want to see things change and all that sort of stuff. So I do think, I see writing and performing for me are quite linked together.
Well, that's quite a good tip, isn't it, really? That could be one of your tips in terms of so many of the female comics have done improv, like the Broad City Girls and Tina Fey, Amy Poehler. Well, improv, especially over in the States and Canada, it's such a massive, massive machine there, in that you would be hard-pressed to find an actor who doesn't have improv training, because it's seen there as such an incredibly, respected art form and such a huge part of performing. And I can't recommend it highly enough, whether you want to be a performer or not. But I think if you want to write, or even if you're performing in a genre that's not necessarily comedy or acting, even, I think as a musician, or I just think that the ability to be able to think on your feet and be confident and fail gracefully is just such brilliant training, and it just sets you up for life, Yeah. Well, you've embraced it and taken it on, and you're now the winner of Pitch Fest, Melbourne Web Fest Pitch Fest. So we look forward to seeing Viking Mumma. I would say probably, I don't know, you'll be writing it in October, or getting the seeds of it down. And
the deadline has been issued. The house is on fire.
Yes, oh my God. I'll be working on it in late October, I believe.
Beautiful. It sounds like we might see it next year. That's what we're going to pitch the deadline as for you. How's that sound?
So, that sounds awesome.
Well, congratulations again. It was lovely to talk to you and find out all about it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for having me.
And when it is ready to be presented, let us know, and we'll have you on again, and we'll have a bit of a...
So you can give us the full rundown of Viking Mummas.
And so forth.
Absolutely, I would love that.
Fabulous.
Right.
Thanks, Jenny.
Awesome. Thanks, Tim.
No worries. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.